Yo, what's up YouTube, and welcome to a highly requested video of you guys. Since so many of you seem to like the Trevi Hawker build and asked how to actually start the season with the Barbarian and so on, I decided to show you how I started in the past with the least favorable and most unpopular class for resets. With that being said, let's get started. Not gonna lie, sometimes I gotta skip. Okay? Like, it's expected. It's also not meant to farm Trevi, but sometimes it is possible if you get a good run. If I show you the gear in a second, you will laugh your ass off. You will not believe the items. Yeah, that's pretty much what you do. You just face tank and shout at them. Until they give burr runes. That's a good example here. I don't have the Thunder Charm for physical damage yet. So there's one mob I can't kill, right? Let's just use item find. Don't worry about him. Yeah, that's a Trevi run with basically 0 gear. Of course, this is not optimal. I would highly recommend you to use this build, which I'm gonna explain to you right now and in a second. I would highly recommend you use this build only if it's absolute fresh character, then you should use this build. Different scenario. You start 2 weeks late into the season. And your buddies can hook you up with some runes or a weapon which will carry you. Absolutely skip all this. Friendly recommendation. I personally absolutely hate this build, but it's the best build to start a Barbarian, in my humble opinion. But if you can avoid it, avoid it. But it's the most cheesy, easiest, and best start. The only cancer part is you need somehow get this setup going. Even though this is cheap gear, as soon as you find something which is good for Whirlwind or Frenzy, go with that spec. I have budget builds about those builds as well. You are a freaking Barbarian. You can't do much, right? Like that's what I do. I run around with double swing, eventually go into Frenzy. I should already respec at this point, but usually what I do, I go to normal mode Akara and I get those Paladin clubs. And yeah, be like a very poorly equipped Frenzy Barb, like barely killing stuff in Nightmare maybe to get the runes going for Spirit and stuff. And as soon as I'm able to, I switched this. I'm going to show you 2 different setups because RNG is RNG, but you will most likely end up with either or. I'm using 2 spirits because the build is called, it's a Singer Barb. That's how I know the build. So the preferred breakpoint is 105 FCR, and I can achieve this with either or 2 different setups, right? So as of now, I'm using Spirit. This has a little bit more damage. In terms of damage, like I would say this is the bare minimum. I would generally aim for 1k Warcry damage. Everything below 1k feels really awkward, and it's super slow, and the start is not good with the Barbarian. Okay, you should be well aware of that. But this is the best build I found to start a season with. Yeah, you aim for around 1k. I reached that by wearing 2 spirits. This should be a 3 to Warcry Amulet. You will be, wait, that's a set item. This is the worst helm, only a plain Loa would be worse. So you would look for a 3 to Warcry base and put a Loa in there, so you have 4 to your main attack. This only gives 2. Also, you can find very nice rare helmets. They drop all the time, but we only step over them. We never pick them up, so keep an eye out for those rare Barbarian helmets. The most expensive piece of gear here is Mage Fist, but you need that to reach the cast rate. I'm wearing 2 Nagel Rings for Magic Find, random boots, and Death Guard belt for Cannot Be Frozen. These item slots have least priority, so focus on like the cast stuff, right, first. There's another good setup. Like, it's not a question if what setup is better, it's more like what you find, what you can get your hands on early on and easier. So, of course, people like Rhyme so much, so do I, it's really good. But you need the cast rate from somewhere else. So in that case, like, don't mind the rings. I stole those rings from my characters. Just get random blue faster cast rate rings, and whatever cast rate amulet. Like in a perfect world, oh my god, you would find a 3 to Warcry, 10 faster cast rate. That would be absolutely best slot. If you find one of those and you are not playing a Warcry Barbarian, don't give this away for too cheap, because that's like almost endgame amulet like this. Yeah, and now it's 105 FCR as well. Okay, 106 because of Spirit Roll, but you get the point, right? So either of those setups would I recommend as the bare minimum. If you have at least, if you want to have at least a little bit of fun. The damage is less. Yeah, no plus skills on the amulet and so on. You can still kill stuff with this. Mercenary gear real quick. I had in mind that I want to farm Trevi now and then with this build. So I gave him a Tarasha amulet and a Hustle armor. Maybe a little bit overkill because a core rune day 1 is pricey. Core and Lem have almost the same value, especially early on, because of rune words like this. But yeah, he runs super fast, so that's nice. When I jump over and he gets stuck in the wall, he can run around faster. He has super good attack speed now, and he can leech 10% life. Nice combo. And he has the worst possible inside roll you will ever see in Diablo 2. But if you absolutely cannot get your hands on Tarasha, I would use Bulwark, the 3-socket rune bird. As of right now, Trevi is terrorized. You cannot kill Trevi with a setup like this. If it's terrorized at least, okay? You can do all the other stuff, like Eldritch Shank, Pendle. The cow level is insanely fun with this build. Yeah, that's how I set up my keybinds, by the way. Like I have jump, F1. The Cry reduces damage, F2. The Cry who reduces the defenses, which is good against bosses, F3. F4 is the mobs run away. F5 is my item find. And F6, F7, F8 is my buff up. Just jump right in there. You see, I have like 4k, around 4k life. Make the little ones run away, maybe. You feel every plus skill with the setup, especially in the beginning. Let's talk about the skill tree for a second here. The main attack, obviously Warcry, 20 points in here. Deals physical damage and stuns the enemies. Next one I max is Battle Cry. And I'd also tell you like the order I max this, right? So I max Warcry, I max Battle Cry. Then I max Howl. That's a nice debuff against bosses. That scares little monsters away. Last synergy would be Taunt. I don't max this right away, because at that point I will slowly but surely enter Hell mode. And in order to face tank all the mobs, I need to be tanky. And also, so that my Merc does not rip all the time, he needs to be tanky. So I put 20 in Battle Orders to buff both up. And also, if you're in a party, GG, maybe vendor shop Warcry sticks from Mala, buff the whole Bale run up. I have only 1 point in find item, because sadly it's not enough points. Like this simulates a level 82 character skill tree right now, and it's sadly not enough points to yeah, put more points in here. It's just a nice to have ability. Nothing into masteries, because we never hit with something, we only shot until they drop burr runes. 1 point in each of those. If you really only sit Eldritch, Shank, Pendle, Trav, you would not even need those 2 points, because the bosses are next to the waypoints. 1 point in Iron Skin, and I have more points into natural resistance. And also, if I would get a level up, I put all those points in natural resistance, right? Because in order to farm Trav, you need at least, I'd say, I don't know, maybe 50, maybe 50 fire res. And it's up to you how you reach that. The easiest is, of course, putting points into natural resistance. If you would go with an IK helm as well, you can just put Rull runes in here. Or maybe you're lucky, you find like, sometimes you find Grand Charms with a lot of fire resist. That's all possible. But yeah, I would put all remaining points in here. That's pretty much the skill tree. 1 point in leap. When I play hardcore, I don't have a point in leap. Maybe as a conclusion to end the video, you should go away from the setup as fast as you can. For example, I farmed up like 2 Lem runes and traded for full IK on my hardcore bar. Still not a perfect setup, but better than this. But this budget Singer Barb setup lets you breach through that wall you would usually face when starting a season with this class. If you found this any useful, give it a like, consider subscribing, comment if you want. This video was brought to you because of people who commented on the Trevi Walkabout. With that being said, thanks for watching and I'll catch you in the next one.